We're indeed privileged to have with us Shri V.S. Sampath, Chief Election Commissioner of India. Shri Sampath, Prasar Bharati welcomes you.
Thank you.
May we begin with a very simple question. In view of the multi-layered diversity that our country possesses, coupled with hierarchical mindsets, playing a balancing game with a system of universal suffrage, not to mention disruptive elements, how humongous and challenging is the task for the Election Commission in the backdrop of the general elections 2014 for the world's largest democracy?
Everything about Indian democracy is huge, unprecedented and unimaginable in terms of magnitude. The very size of our electorate, which has now crossed 83 crores as of today, it is more than the electorate in any one single continent in the world.
Okay.
Of course, Asia being excluded because India is part of Asia. And to conduct elections for such a huge number of electorate, we engage 11 million persons, both security and non-security personnel. In fact, this 11 million itself is larger than the population of as many as about 140 countries in the world. That is the size of even the number of people whom we engage to conduct the elections. And we collect the votes from over 9 lakh polling stations. And the very complexity involved in arranging security, sending polling personnel and machines to all these polling stations, arranging fair and peaceful conduct of the poll, then collecting them back at the end of it, bringing it back to the collection centers. It is perhaps one of the greatest, most complex exercise in management. And our country has been able to successfully do this not only today, over a period of 6 decades.
So what kind of preparations go into the entire exercise before and after the elections?
When you talk of the prior period to the date of the poll, one of the first exercise is preparation of electoral roll. The preparation of roll itself is a very complex exercise. Ours is a country where enrollment for a citizen is not compulsory. Enrollment is at the option of a citizen. That too, the main criteria are: 1, you should be a citizen; 2nd, you should be not less than 18 years of age; 3rd, you should be ordinarily resident in a polling station area. This is important because all our election is polling station based. We have a mechanism by which we revise the electoral roll every year. We have the system of summary revision, in which the rolls of the previous year, earlier finalized published roll becomes draft roll for the subsequent year. And any person who has reached the age of 18 years as on 1st January of the year is entitled to be enrolled in the roll for the year. So the summary revision process starts approximately 3 months before January 1st. So during that period, even a person who will be completing the age of 18 on January 1st coming, he will be eligible to apply for inclusion. After verifying his age, ordinary residence, after allowing for things like double entry, etc., names are ordered by electoral registration officer for inclusion in the roll. And like this, the roll for the current general election has been finalized with reference to January 1st, 2014 as the cutoff date. And subsequently, when we announced the Lok Sabha elections on 5th March, we also thought, because generally we have been getting complaints from voters that they had cast their votes in the last election, they have EPIC also, but when they went to the polling station, their names were not there. And this happens because in summary revision, there is also a provision for filing objections against an entry in the roll. Apart from that, when our booth level officers go for door-to-door verification, if somebody is not there for repeated visits, there will be a presumption that he is no longer residing there. So their names get removed like that, sometimes inadvertently. So we thought we will give an opportunity for such people also. When we announced Lok Sabha elections on 5th March, we announced 9th March, that was the succeeding Sunday, as the date for special campaign in the entire country. In all, over 9 lakh polling stations, the booth level officers were made to sit in the polling station with a copy of the roll published. That will be pasted on the walls of the location. So we gave wide publicity that any voter could just walk across. Normally, the polling station is within about 2.5 kilometers from the residence of any voter. So he could go across, check for himself, and quite a few people who otherwise would have assumed that their names were there, they could go and find out, and some of them found that their names were not there. We had made provisions for filing applications instantly. The applications were made available with booth level officers. After a summary inquiry, names got included in all eligible cases. This was something of a new innovation made during this period. Over 80 lakh applications were received on that day alone. Most of them have already been disposed of. So this is one, the preparation of electoral roll. Next would be preparation of the personnel who have to conduct the election. A database is maintained at district level, and that database will be updated, because for every polling station certain number of people are required to conduct the poll. And again, there are some qualifications, some salary limits, etc. for appointment as presiding officer, assistant presiding officer, other polling personnel, etc. And this database gets updated. Third most important thing would be the preparation of electronic voting machines. And well before an election or general election, we take out electronic voting machines which were used in the previous election. We get them tested by the engineers of ECIL and BEL, which are central public undertakings who manufacture and maintain these EVMs. This is called first level check. At that time, we also send intimation to all the political parties. We request their representatives to come and witness the first level check. At the time of first level check, we also try to demonstrate through the engineers of the companies that there is no old data available in voting machine, because the people can have some suspicion.
So that is deleted.
They go to car, yes. So old data is deleted. It will also be demonstrated to them. See, actually, electronic voting machine is only a mechanization of wooden ballot box, which we were using earlier, with all the safeguards built into that. And earlier, when ballot boxes were used, the people used to turn it upside down, show to the people that there is nothing in that. And similarly, in electronic voting machine also, we erase all the data and show it to them. Data availability in that is nil. Apart from that, we also ask our engineers to take 5% of electronic voting machines at random. And even, the political party, their agent is at liberty to select those voting machines. And in that, 1,000 presses. Normally, capacity of a machine is about 2,000. About 1,000 presses. And in any polling station, you don't expect more than about 1,000, 1,200 votes to be cast. They make 1,000 presses for different imaginary candidates. Then a sequential printout is taken and shown to the people. So when the political party agent who is present, you could have also made note for whom he has pressed, and he can compare whether votes are recorded according to the way that he is. This is only to reinforce that electronic voting machines are faithful, truthful. They will only show you the results as per you have pressed the button. So this is one of the essential means that we have developed as a confidence building measure in the minds of the political class about electronic voting machines. After that, we have to make proper arrangement for security forces. We take into account all security forces available in the state. Plus, we discuss with the Home Ministry. Over a period of time, we have been using extensively central police forces. Ultimately, for all the polling stations, we have a combination of central police force, state police force, plus a number of non-force mechanisms like micro observers, video cameras, then web cameras, like this. And with all these things, we try to ensure that every polling station gets covered by either one or more of these things. This is also part of the election planning. And apart from that, we prepare schedule for the conduct of the elections. Again, for a country like ours, preparation of schedule is also a very complex matter. Imagine for about 543 parliamentary constituencies spread over in diverse places like Northeast, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Tripura, go to Rajasthan, go to Jammu and Kashmir, in Kerala, early monsoons, Assam and Northeast, early monsoons. Just after a little while, summer. When you go to third week or fourth week or first week of May, scorching heat in some parts like Gujarat, Rajasthan, like this, taking all these varied factors into account. Plus, our country also has a number of religious festivals, holidays. According to the election laws, you cannot do certain activities on holidays, particularly relating to the filing of nominations, etc. And there are so many holidays, so many festivals, like Sri Ramanavami festival. On certain day, it will be there for the entire country. But in some places, even a day after Sri Ramanavami, there will be some processions. And it will not be possible to take poll even on the day. Like that, keeping all this in mind, festivals, plus crop seasons, in some places, like Punjab, harvesting is a very major event. And you cannot really have poll during that harvesting period. It has to be slaughtered a little after the harvesting period. Like this, all kinds of factors have to be kept in view, make the schedule. That is how, keeping all these factors in mind, we try to have elections in number of phases.
And is the phase after the elections are over as complex as what you told before the elections?
No, the phasing is relevant only up to the date of conducting the poll. After the poll is conducted, all these ballot boxes, that is my electronic voting machine, they are all carried to the reception center, which will be a strong room. And again, in keeping with the spirit of election, which will not be influenced by the results of earlier phases. Like when we have the first date of poll on 7th April, last date of poll will be on 12th May. So in between, there are 9 poll dates. If you hold the election on 7th April, if you declare the result on 8th or 9th, that result is likely to affect the trend of voting in subsequent phases. So we conduct all the polls, keep voting machines in strong room, safe storage conditions. Counting for the entire country takes place on single day. That will be on 16th May. We commence the counting at 8 o'clock in the morning. Usually by lunchtime, for this 83 crore electorate, by lunchtime, most of the results will be known. That is the way election is organized.
Sir, in the run-up to any general election, what steps are taken to increase voter awareness? I'm referring especially to the middle and upper middle classes, which tend to be lazy at times.
See, this over a period of time, we have launched a number of outreach measures. Our endeavor is, as far as possible, particularly people in urban areas and all, the middle class, they are not really too keen to go around our offices for registration. So that is how, this over a period of time, we have also introduced the online filing of applications. In the last few years, entire electoral roll is available on the website of the CEO, on the website of the Election Commission. And when we make the publication, apart from publication of the draft roll made in traditional places like Panchayat office, village chavadi, taluka office, block office, collectorate, etc. Apart from these things, it is also available on the website. It is not necessary for any person to go to any of these offices to find out whether his name is there on the notice board or not. He can easily check from the website. And again, there is a provision for online filing of the applications. Only thing is, unless an official personally visits the place of residence, because one of the criteria for enrollment is residence. A person should be ordinarily resident in a locality. Only then his name will be enrolled. This, apart from asking for address proof or residence proof, somebody will also personally visit the address that is given to check whether an applicant resides in that place. Then his name is got included. We would say that in recent times, we have taken lot of care to reach out to the people in urban areas. Secondly, the people who are working in big establishment, some corporate offices, etc. They were somehow, most cases, both husband and wife will be working. When somebody goes for verification, there will be nobody in the house. And they said that some kind of a special facilitation is required for their enrollment. This was a request which came from some of their associations like FICCI, NASCOM, etc. Consultation with them, we organized special camps for such big establishment. And many of these organizations, they will be having 4,000 employees working in one place, 5,000 employees working in one place, etc. We organized some special camps, special arrangement to facilitate enrollment of these people. Another segment which has not been really getting enrolled was youth of 18 to 19 years. We found at one point of time the percentage enrolled was only about 10. So we took it up very aggressively and we started approaching, because mainly these people are those who are not pursuing higher education. They will be in the village or in the town. For them, whatever outreach for reaching out to a new voter, the village or the town. But for those who have gone to educational institutions, they could be in the junior college, they could be in the degree college, they could be in the professional college. We have started contacting these institutions, and these managements were quite cooperative. We have got a system of approaching these organizations, and we have also got a system of appointing a campus ambassador, we call. He will be something like a liaison between the voters or the candidates or the applicants in an education institution and our electoral registration officer. So campus ambassador. There are as many as 9,000 such campus ambassadors who are already there. This number will go on increasing depending upon our outreach measures. These are some of the things in which we have been able to ensure some kind of inclusiveness among voting population.
So here we come to the crucial area of election-related expenditure by political parties. So from a common man's point of view, why is this such an important issue?
You see, this expenditure is a major factor in election management. It actually affects level playing field. Like with, for whatever reason, over a period of time, we have developed a lot of people with wealth in the country. So you cannot obviously expect a person who has got ordinary income to compete with a magnate who has got assets of some 700 crores or 800 crores. So what is his ability to spend in an election? So not only we have some expenditure ceilings for candidates in election, this is common for every candidate who is contesting election. Even if you have got 1,000 crores wealth, if the limit is 70 lakhs, you can spend only 70 lakhs. This is in a way to ensure a level playing field in election contest. Next thing would be, how do you ensure that a person with money spends only 70 lakhs and not much more than that? There our expenditure monitoring measures, they come into play. We have a host of measures. One, we have expenditure observers. Normally, for every parliamentary constituency, we appoint one expenditure observer. His job is to keep a very close watch on expenditure by different candidates. Second, we have the other means, like attached to the returning officer, we also keep an accounting team. Their job is to keep track of all ostensible expenditure, all overt expenditure of every candidate. They maintain a shadow register. We also require the candidate to maintain his day-to-day expenditure in a register. And during that campaign period, which is usually 14 days or so, he is required, either himself or through his agent, he is allowed one extra agent simply for expenditure management. He is called expenditure agent, and he will have to visit the RO's office and compare the entries in his register with the register maintained by the accounting teams. So this is only to avoid any serious problem for the candidate later when he has to file his expenditure account after the results are declared. And plus, we have a number of flying squads. They visit places. We have video surveillance teams. If somebody is organizing a public meeting and if a crowd of some 10,000 people attending the public meeting, if he is going to report an expenditure of 500 rupees for it, it will be abysmally low. So our video teams will go capture it on the video. They will have number of tube lights used. They will have the size of the shamiana. They will have the number of chairs used. With that, that he will calculate the expenditure. And if he tries to grossly under project the expenditure, there will be a comparison. You will arrive at some common point. Plus static surveillance teams. These are more like check posts People may be transporting money, huge amounts of unaccounted cash, which may be going to be used as inducement for the voters, or liquor, because liquor is one of the inducements. Now, in some places, people give gifts. They will be giving saris, they will be giving watches, they will be giving some other things, some household articles, and they would be moved in mass scale. So this checkpost will check these things, restrain. So all kinds of things we have to do to ensure that there is no undue influence caused by money power on the mind of the electorate.
So are there lessons for India to be learned from other democracies of the world?
This drawing of the lessons, learning of the lessons is mutual. No one can say that he has perfected the art of election management, only others have to learn from him, or vice versa. Among our election management bodies, we have some kind of an understanding. Usually, whenever elections are held in different countries, they extend invites. And several countries, they invite others as observers. But India has its own system of observers. As you know, we are not a country. We are a subcontinent. Each state in our country is as good as a country in the global context. So naturally, an officer who is from Kerala, a Kerala cadre, in Punjab, he will be like an international observer. And similarly, an officer from Punjab in West Bengal, and he will be like international observer. Because all these officers, they work under the control of the state government. So naturally, when they go to another state, they are totally independent. Like this, we have large number of observers we use for this parliament election. Over 760 general observers, another 650 expenditure observers to organize these outreach measures, voter awareness, etc. We have 60 awareness observers. Okay. These are mostly officers from information service. So in addition, from districts or constituencies which are sensitive from law and order point of view, we engage police observers also. We engage about 104 police observers. These people go, they observe. So we don't really invite observers from other countries. But at the same time, we do not restrict people from coming and witnessing our elections. Quite a number of countries have expressed inclination to come and witness our election. We also play a facilitation role.
So has India been a guiding force to other democracies, especially fledgling democracies that have come up in recent years?
That's a very good question. In fact, there is a lot of interest and initiative from a number of emerging democracies. They want India to play a larger role in guiding them with regard to election practices, election management practices. Recently, we have also been adopting a very proactive approach, and we keep signing what is called MOUs, so Memorandum of Understanding, with election management bodies which need collaboration with us. We have signed such MOUs with 16 countries so far, and they keep visiting us. They keep extending invitation to us to visit their countries. They are one about our election management, our maintenance of electoral roll is one thing which is a model for most other countries. So this kind of an outreach is not there in many, and our process for enrollment is very simple. So this is something which is impressive for most countries.
Even the marker ink, I'm told, is...
Marker ink. So recently I happened to visit Yemen. I was there almost about 1 month after our last Delhi elections. Okay. They asked what was there in my forefinger. So the indelible ink was so fresh even after a month, and they could see that. So immediately they said they also wanted indelible ink for their election. They were also quite interested in our electronic voting machine. We actually invited them to come to India to visit our factories in Bangalore and Hyderabad, see for themselves. Our electronic voting machine is so simple, still so robust. So anyone who sees that, they are amazed by its simplicity and strength. There are also not many countries which put the voter list on website. There we are quite advanced. So this is also another which is of significance to many of the countries who get in touch with us. And we have established in the last few years a training institute which imparts training for both our own personnel and also international participants. It is called IIIDEM. India International Institute of Democracy and Election Management, and quite a few countries, they are interested in sending their election managers for training in our institute. Right now, because of want of space, it is operating from one of the floors in our building, which is not sufficient. We can't take up lot many courses in that limited space. We have plans of constructing a huge complex slightly on the outskirts in Dwarka. As soon as it is ready, we may be able to offer the benefit of our experience to various other countries by organizing more and more courses.
And is there any exchange with election commissions abroad?
As I was mentioning, we have got MOU with 16 countries, and periodically they will be visiting us. We will also be visiting. So in addition to that, the Commonwealth has got one network in which all the Commonwealth countries are members. India is also a lead member in that. Recently, South Korea has launched the initiative, Association of World Election Bodies. It's called AWEB. And quite a number of countries have become members in that. India is not only a member, it's also a member of executive committee of that. So like that, in whichever world body or a regional collaboration body, India is a member. Wherever India is a member, India will be a lead member.
So final question, what is the Election Commission of India's long-term vision regarding decriminalization of politics in India?
Decriminalization has been on the agenda of Election Commission for quite some time, and we have always been taking up with Law Ministry, through them with Parliament, that under the existing law only the persons with criminal convictions are barred from contesting election. But our stand has always been, because of inherent delays in disposal of cases, people with criminal record, they have been either managing or otherwise not to get their cases disposed of, but they continue to fight elections, and they become MLA, they become MPs, and it is not really a comfortable thought that a legislature should have people with criminal record as lawmakers. So that is the reason why Commission has been pleading that people with criminal records, of course with some safeguards. There are also some apprehensions in the political class that there could be some framed cases.
Misuse.
Yes, to misuse. So we have also suggested some safeguards against that, all these things, and ultimately it's for Parliament to consider. We hope someday it will happen.
So quickly, a final message to voters.
The Election Commission of India would like to reassure all citizens of our solemn resolve, deep commitment and comprehensive preparedness to fulfill our constitutional mandate to conduct a free, fair and credible election. We would also like to call upon all voters to turn up at polling stations and exercise their right to vote in an informed